Hi everybody, thanks for clicking on this video. If you're new, my name is Caroline. I'm a UK-based physics lecturer, and on Thursday this week I thought I would do my first ever YouTube Q&A. So thank you so much for your lovely comments. There's been a few questions, things about lecturer salaries, different types of career route when you go into academia. So I thought I would group a few questions together and do a Q&A video on Thursday. So if you've got something you want to know about lecturer life, academic matters, maybe you're a student starting university this September, feel free to add a comment and I will do my best to address quite a few of those questions on Thursday. And today I thought we could have a chat about university accommodation. So maybe you're joining university in the autumn as a new student, maybe you're a returning student, maybe you're going to be starting your PhD, maybe you've landed a postdoc, maybe you're coming as a teaching fellow, or maybe you're starting a new lectureship at a different university. One thing that we all have to do is to find somewhere to live. Now, if you're a first year student, this can be quite a big step. This is the step sometimes where you're leaving friends, leaving family, quite likely going to a different location, and this might be the first time that you're moving in with a bunch of strangers and living by yourself. So there's a few things you can do to make that transition a little bit easier. I'm on the Facebook page from my university, and I can see quite a lot of the students who are going to be joining us in a few weeks' time are already asking, if other people are in the same accommodation block as them, do people have the same interests as them, where are people going to be living? And it sort of lets them start to form social groups before they even get to the university. So if you're coming to a university for the first time, I would say hop on the social media, have a look maybe at Instagram, have a look at what's going on Facebook, see if there's groups starting to form. You can get a feel then for where people are going to be living, maybe know a few names before you turn up on your first day. My top suggestion, so regardless of which accommodation you're moving into, top things that you might want to bring with you. An extension lead, so an extension lead with a few plug sockets on it, ideally the ones with the kind of switches, you can flick them on and flick them off. That's always useful. You're never entirely sure where the plug points are going to be in the room. Sometimes they're in really good locations and sometimes you want to shuffle the furniture and it might mean that you then block where the convenient plug point is, so actually having an extension cable can be quite a good idea. Obviously you want this room to feel like home. Universities have very strict rules, as do rental properties, about what you can actually attach to the walls. When I went off to university we all had to use blue tack, but these days command strips I think are a really popular choice. So they're the little strips that you can use to stick onto the wall, and then when you want to remove them you pull down and it breaks the seal, and it means you can peel them off, and if you do it slowly you can peel them off without leaving any mark on the wall at all. So that can be quite good if you want to put some pictures up. Often university accommodation is going to come with a giant pin board, so bring some nice pins along. That means you can put up pictures, photographs, newsletters, things that kind of remind you of home. That's quite nice. And also think about lighting. Often your room is going to come just with the main light and maybe one desk light. And that's not necessarily the best lighting, so you might want to bring a desk lamp, a reading lamp. People do all sorts of things like fairy lights, making the room look pretty, but just think about some other lighting to help soften the living space that you're in. One thing I would say if you're joining a university for your first year is that you can't necessarily swap accommodation before you come. So I think sometimes people think they might be able to trade rooms, especially if the room is a similar price band, and you might be able to advertise your room and switch to a different hall of residence depending on where you want it to be. But most likely the university you're going to will have a policy on room switching. And typically you get allocated a room, you live in that room for a period of time, and then most universities do a ballot system, or there's some kind of exchange process where a few weeks into semester, if you want to request a change, you can apply through that university process. So that's just a bit of a heads up about actually being able to switch accommodation. If you're coming back to university as a second year or a third year, you might be moving into private housing. So you could be going into some rental property in the nearby area. My top suggestion there is take photographs of the house when you move in. So take snapshots of anywhere that looks like it's been damaged, if there's like any tears or stains on like the carpet, if anything looks a bit scuffed, take a picture, get it date stamped, and then you've got evidence of what the property looked like when you moved in. So when you move out, you know, the landlord knows the state that you got the property in and the state that you're leaving the property in. If you're starting as a postdoc, maybe you're again moving into professional shared accommodation. Sometimes something that PhD and postdoctoral researchers do is they actually become wardens in the halls of residence. So there is an option to apply to be somebody that looks after the undergraduate students in a hall of residence. So typically you get quite a nice flat and it's part of that hall of residence. And then your job is to help maintain the running of the hall, make sure students are looking after themselves. You can act as a point of call for students who are having issues or difficulties. So if you're looking for nice accommodation that's on campus, quite often at a reduced price rate compared to like renting in the nearby area, being a hall of residence warden can be a good option. And if you're starting as a lecturer, again, you might want to look to doing some kind of living in accommodation in a kind of a warden capacity. Maybe you're moving house, or maybe you're just going to be doing a slightly longer or shorter commute, depending on where you're currently living. But yeah, lots of things to think about when you're moving to come to a university. And my final thing that you might want to think about bringing is a hanging up shoe rack, if that's how you say it. You know, these are the shoe racks that you hang on the back of a door and you can put your shoes into them. They can be so useful. You can put shoes in them, you could put your belts in them, scarves in them. You can have them hanging on the back of your door and have them like as a snack and treat area. So all your favourite treats could be in the individual pockets. A hanging shoe rack can be a very versatile addition to your room. So along with some command strips, some pins for your notice board and some lighting, I think actually putting in a shoe rack that hangs on the back of a door or you can hang up in your wardrobe can give you a little bit of extra storage space. So there are my suggestions for things to bring to your university accommodation. It can be exciting moving in. I'll do a video in the future about moving in day and how to kind of make the most of that moving in day, make it an enjoyable experience, and how to get to know the people that you're now going to be living with. But as I said, on Thursday I will be doing a Q&A. So no matter where you are in your academic journey, whether you're just starting out on the foundation year of an undergraduate degree course, or maybe you are now going for promotion to become a professor or a reader, if you've got any question, pop them in the link. I'll try to answer them if I can, and if not, that's what the comment section is for, and hopefully we can help answer each other's questions. So that'll be Thursday's video. I've got August favourites coming up after that, and then we're going to be into my September move-in videos. So have a great few days. I hope to see you on Thursday. If you like academic stuff, university matters, do hit like, hit the subscribe button, take care of yourselves, and I'll see you on Thursday. Bye.